Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello everyone and welcome to another version of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V and thanks for watching. Today I wanted to kind of revisit a topic I talked about a few weeks ago, and that is the versus battle coming up between Superman / Batman / Wonder Woman / whoever else they decide to put in, and the third Captain America installment. Last time I talked about this, it was supposition. It was a guess. It was people were assuming that the third Captain America movie, and maybe they were assuming that because someone heard it somewhere, because it actually is true. Just a few weeks ago, they did announce, Marvel Studios, that the Captain America, the third installment of the new franchise starring Captain America, would be the big Marvel movie going up against the Batman, Superman, Batman, whatever it is, the Trinity movie that will be coming out in a couple of years. So now that we know that that will actually be the film, and both studios have said neither are backing down. In other words, this will happen unless one of them changes their mind, which many people suspect will occur. Someone will back off, someone will move their film, and most people that I talk to about this that have any kind of insight into it at all seem to think that it'll be DC that backs down, and I can see why that is the assumption, because DC has not had the cinematic success that Marvel has had. They have not had the preparation. They have not, in my opinion, and I've said many times on this show, they've not done what has been needed to be done over the years as Marvel has done. Marvel, as I've said, has really taken the time to captivate an audience, to cultivate an audience, to teach us about their characters, and to have an all-inclusive universe where all these other characters show up, and where we know where anytime we go to a Marvel movie, we're in that universe and we can see any of these characters. DC, after the big Dark Knight trilogy, which was a huge success, kind of relaunched their movie universe with Man of Steel supposedly being the starting point, where now they're going to have Batman and Wonder Woman and whatever else they bring to the Man of Steel follow-up, which might be a sequel but probably isn't, but will star Henry Cavill and Amy Adams and Lawrence Fishburne, and now, of course, Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and Batman. But the problem is that no one's really into that yet. No one really has the idea that DC is what Marvel is on the same level, because they're not, and they haven't built that. But I went and saw the Captain America sequel, the second movie, The Winter Soldier, and I thought it was really good. I have heard many great things about it. Many people, a lot of reviews, saying that it has what last summer's Man of Steel lacked, whatever that is: heart, character, I don't know, better story, better intrigue. And it is kind of like a James Bond movie, which obviously Man of Steel wasn't. And it's very action-adventure oriented, and it's very story-driven. There's a lot of things going on, and I really enjoyed it for those reasons. I also enjoyed a lot of the emotional content, and a lot of people I talked to found that Man of Steel didn't have that. Didn't have a lot of character, didn't have a lot of story, and didn't develop a lot. I think a lot of people's problem with Man of Steel, and I've said this before too, is that they didn't see it a second time because they were let down the first time. And unfortunately, I believe that Man of Steel is a movie you need to see more than one time to see the subtleties that are there, but that a lot of reviewers and a lot of people who have seen the movie don't think are there. There is a lot of stuff with the Kents. There is a lot of stuff with Jor-El. There is a lot of depth and character, emotion, and things going on that the problem is that Zack Snyder tried so hard to hit you over the head with the action, because everyone was complaining there was no action in the last Superman movie, that really all you see when you first see it is this ton of action, and then the killing of Zod, and just some things stuck out in people's minds. But when you go back and watch it a second time, I think you feel it a lot more. You feel a lot of the impact of the emotion that the character, mainly Superman, goes through. in the film. And Captain America, the first movie, let me down. I was real excited about it. I like a period piece that takes place in another time, where there's the costumes of that time, the historical references that are going on at that time. And of course, it's a fictitious world, so there's other things going on too that never did happen in the real world. And I really wanted to love it, and I didn't. The second movie rectified that for me. I really love the second movie, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I also like the idea of calling a movie another name and not 2. Like Amazing Spider-Man 2 is about to come out here soon, and I would rather it be called The Spectacular Spider-Man, or The Ultimate Spider-Man, or Holy Cow, it's Spider-Man. Anything other than The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and with everyone being in this second Man of Steel universe movie, I don't think it's going to be called Man of Steel 2, which is one good thing. Anyway, I think it's going to be a spectacular battle, but probably the team with the most to lose is the DC team, because Marvel considers Captain America kind of a second-tier hero that no one knew about a couple of years ago. You know, people had heard of him, but no one cared about. A lot like Iron Man was before they built it with Robert Downey Jr., and now it's the biggest thing since sliced bread. But so for them, they're like, hey, we made a ton of money with Winter Soldier. It's still making money now. We're not moving. The third one's going to make double or something what the second one made. And you're still trying to prove yourself and prove your footing with this Man of Steel follow-up. So we're going to stay there, and we think it would behoove you more to get out of our way. So, you know, we're going to stay there and hope that you don't call our bluff, because both movies will suffer in the way that Hollywood seems to only care about, and that's like opening weekend. Even though all of these movies make money once you add in overseas, and they do really well, for some reason they're often considered failures or not as successful as people wanted them to be when you add up the opening weekend or just domestic box office. And to me, if I made money, it wouldn't matter where I made it from. And yeah, I want to be big in America, but if I make the money I need, overseeing a lot of Tom Cruise movies do that, and he keeps making movies, and he's really successful. So I don't know why they judge it that way, but Marvel's got an upper hand here because everybody's in the same universe, and it's going on, and Avengers is going to be next. I think the second Avengers before the third Captain America, so there's going to be even more hype. And, of course, we've got the whole idea that Batman and Superman and now Wonder Woman are going to be on screen for the first time together, so that's hype too. But both movies are going to have money taken away. I mean, I'm going to see them both, and I think a lot of fans are going to see them both, so I'm not really sure what the suffering is going to be, but I guess a lot of people only go to movies once a week, so the one movie that they choose that week is going to get the punch of having that extra money going to their box office, whereas the movie that they go to the next week isn't going to matter as much, because then those movies would be expected to be second or third anyway. So I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to see them both, and I still have high hopes, even though a lot of people are garnering more and more doubt toward this Superman-Batman project. I hope things go well. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky.